I'd been trying to get into Manna for years, but every time I was in Milan, they were on vacation. Some years, I didn't even get an answering machine. 2 years ago, I came close. They reopened the night before I left town, but were full. This year, I was surprised when a voice, rather than a machine, took my call, and before I knew it, I had a dinner reservation. So I boarded the red Metro line number 1 for the long trip to Turro in northern Milan, 3 stops past Loreto. From there, just a few minutes' walk to Manna. Over a nice prosecco, I studied the menu. Each dish is listed with a tongue-in-cheek title. We started off with quasi peperonata, wedges of red pepper, 2 pickled friarielli peppers, an addictive slice of a red pepper terrine, and 4 triangles of candied pork snout. Much as I love peppers, it was only good manners which kept me from begging for a second helping of pork snout. The chef, Matteo Fronduti, who took my orders, decided I needed a glass of Merlot Vignarunk from Friuli to go with this. He's not someone I'd argue with, and his choice was spot on. He also decreed that I should have a bis for my primo, so 2 different primi. I happily acquiesced. I forgot the title of the first one before I could transcribe it, but the dish itself was a tight coil of spaghetti with tomatoes, hot chilies, and lemon peel, which added up to much more on the palate than on the page. With this, I was brought a glass of Fiano di Avellino from Ciro Picariello, and this wine continued through the secondo. Mare e Monti, ma veramente, was the title of the second part of my bis, roughly surf and turf. For real? That translated to a risotto with raw scorpion fish, chanterelles, and octopus. Something to immerse oneself in. I hadn't quite counted on full portions of the 2 primi, so I had to pace myself with the secondo, riassunto di mare, or seafood synopsis. This was a veritable quartet. Fried mackerel with more friarielli, scallops with guanciale, or pork jowl, and hazelnuts, a star dish if ever there was one. The most unusual participant, prawns with a hibiscus tea infusion and mustard. And lastly, in the black lacquer soup bowl, with the slightly recalcitrant lid, stewed octopus. The secondo was a meal in itself, and almost all the other diners in the room had left by the time I was finished. When the chef looked in, I had on my silly sated smile of contentment. He approved. Dessert followed, called agro-balcanico, or in a very rough approximation, Balkan countryside or Balkan field. It was the oddest dessert I've ever eaten. On the menu it was described as a fruit and vegetable salad with a sorbet of sweet lettuces. For simplicity's sake, I'll just list the individual ingredients in case you can't identify them. Watermelon, apricots, cantaloupe, green apple, carrots, celery, and yes, those are indeed lentils. The beautiful green oval was a sorbet made from romaine lettuce. Although I'll probably pick a different dessert on my next dinner at Manna, I'm very much looking forward to going back, and I'll be delighted to repeat any of the other dishes I had, which is still on the menu. It was a beautiful, mild, late summer evening, and I looked forward to a walk at both ends of my metro ride, and a long sleep in the following morning.